Hey friends, welcome back to Boots and Bounty Homestead. My name is Casey and we are doing another Jamming Up June 2024 video for the collaboration hosted by Kettle Kitchen and Blue Self-Reliance. I want to thank you guys for showing up and showing out with this video, and I want to thank you for the invitation for the collaboration once again. So what we are going to be doing is using some fresh fruits that are coming in from Florida, from Mexico, from wherever your store may get them. I don't know. California, who knows. But we are using fresh fruits that are coming in this time of year. And I want to do a triple citrus jelly. Now this is going to be orange and lemon and lime. Now the good thing about this recipe is I'm going to give you total amounts of juice, but you can change it up. If you want it more orangey, you can add mostly orange juice. If you want it a little bit more lemony or a little more limey, then you can change it up. But as long as you have that total amount of juice in it, then you can make this jelly any kind of way that you want to. Now, the hardest thing is going to be to juice everything. But you can take a shortcut and actually use juice from the store if you would like. You can use orange juice, lemon juice, and lime juice from the store to make this recipe, so you don't have to go through all of this to be able to get the same finished product. Along with this recipe, we're also going to need sugar and sure-jell pectin. I'm going to be using the full sugar sure-jell, which is in the original orange box. But we're going to do full-fledged sugar for this jelly. So first off, we need to start by getting our jars prepared. Now my jars are clean, but I need to warm them up. So the way I do that is I use my pressure canner bottom as my Waterbath canner. Just don't put the top on it. And it's a Waterbath canner. So that's what we're going to need for this recipe. For any jam, jelly, marmalade, you usually want to water bath them. But make sure that you have some kind of rack in the bottom. Or if you don't have a water bath canner or a pressure canner, just remember you can use a regular pot, a Dutch oven, something that's deep enough where you'll be able to cover your jars. So more like a 7, 8, 9 quart pot that's going to be skinny and tall is going to be your best bet for these small jars, because you've got to cover them at least 1 to 2 inches above the jar in order to water bath. If you don't have a rack that goes in the bottom of your pan or pot, you can always lay a towel down. They have silicone mats that go in the bottom. You can use pot holders if you want to. Put a pot holder in the bottom of it. You can take your rings and turn them upside down to where the little lip is on the top side, just like you were screwing it downward. You want to put them down. And you can set your jars on top of that if you would like to. But I have a pressure canner that I'm going to use as the bottom for a water bath canner with my rack that's going to be inserted. Now, along with that, I'm also going to add my jars so I can go ahead and get them warmed up. I'm going to start by adding a gallon of water in here. And then what I'm going to do is start to set my jars in here. I have not turned this on just as of yet, but you can go ahead and turn this on now if you would like. Set your jars in it, and if you want to, if they're clean, you can put them in the oven on warm while you do this whole process. If you prefer, you can get them fresh out of the dishwasher. You can let them sit on the counter with warm water in them, however you want to do it. But this is just the way I do it. I've got to warm this water up anyway, so I might as well use it to warm my jars up. So we're going to put our jars in here. Now this recipe, it can make anywhere from 6 to 10 of the 8-ounce jars. I have made this recipe like 3 times in a row. One time I got 7, one time I got 8, one time I got 9. I don't know how it changes or what's different in it. All of them set, all of them were fine. Same recipe, the exact same way. I got different amounts of jars. Don't ask me how I did it. But I like to go ahead and put at least 10 jars in here. And if you don't use them all, that's fine too. So let's insert our jars, and then we're going to top them off with water. And now these jars do not have the lids or rings on them. I'm just doing plain jars in here. And I am going to go ahead and use my jug here to top these off with water. And I'm going to fill these jars up with water to the top of the jars. So by the time, they all fell over. So by the time that I go and dump the water out to fill the jars up with jelly, then it will be enough volume in there to be able to cover the jars, lids, and rings all together. So let's go ahead and top this off with water. So now in my canner, you see I just barely covered these jars up. So as I take them out, dump the water out to fill them with jelly and put them back in here, the water level will rise and be over my jars. So now, back to our fruit. This is where we are going to juice our fruit, and we want to get as close to 4.5 cups as we can of juice. Now, like I said earlier, you can do a little more orange juice, a little more lemon juice, a little more lime juice. You can play around with your juices to get the taste that you desire. I am going to start off with 7 oranges. These are navel oranges. You can choose whatever orange you would like to. 2 lemons and 4 limes. Now, I said I'm going to start off with that because I want to do mostly oranges and for sure my lemons. So I'm probably going to do my lemons first, and then at least 5 or 6 oranges and kind of see where my amount is, and then do at least a 1/4 cup of lime juice. So that's going to be kind of where I stand on to see how many oranges I actually use. And if it gets to the point where I've used everything but 2 limes and I need a little bit more juice, then I'll just go ahead and use the other 2 limes. So I will let you know here in just a second how many I use. But let's get to juicing. After that monstrosity of a workout, I finally got 4 cups of juice out of the 7 oranges, 2 lemons, and 2 limes. I'm going to save these because I don't need those. And what I did was I added a 1/2 cup of water just to make the 4.5 cups of juice. Because we're adding pectin, we don't have to worry about the pectin that comes from the fruit in order to make this recipe. That's why it's okay to add that 1/2 cup of water. Plus there is 2 lemon juices, the juice of 2 lemons in here, so you don't have to worry about the acidity level. And the oranges and limes and all that is like straight acid. So what we're going to do now is take our juice over to the stove and get started with the cooking process. Alright, we're going to add our juice in here. And I am straining it because this is a jelly. me move my starters out of the way before they get baked. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn this on high. And I like to do this in my favorite pan. If you guys have been here around, you know, very long, you know, I like to do this pan. It's a Tremolino from Sam's, very thick bottom. And this is really good because it's wide and short for making jams and jellies. I'm going to use my whisk, and we are going to add in 1 package of pectin. Okay, so yes, I got it on high. Here's the original sure-jell one that I'm using. That orange doesn't turn my nails yellow. We're going to go ahead and add 1 package of this in. Now, we've got to wait for this to come to a rolling boil, which means when I stir this, the boiling does not stop. This is at the point where it's going to get foamy on top. Some people like to add a pat of butter, teaspoon, tablespoon, I don't know that it matters. But the butter kind of helps to keep the foam down. In my opinion, sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't, depending on the fruit. Like for strawberries it does, but I have done grapes and stuff like that it doesn't, you know, vice versa sometimes. We're going to take this to a rolling boil, time it for 1 minute, and then we're going to add our 5 cups of sugar, which I've got right here handy. That all needs to go in at one time, and then we repeat the process of a rolling boil for a minute, and then we'll be ready to do our jars. Now you see back here in the background it's starting to steam. They are coming to temperature just before boiling, so I don't want those to come to a boil just yet. So if we need to at any time, go ahead and turn it back down, maybe to like a medium high, and that way it keeps your jars hot. And then once you put your jars back in there, then turn it back up on high so it can build up the temperature once again. Okay, it's starting to come to a boil. You see, I stir it, it stops boiling. I want it to boil as I stir. It is not doing that just yet. And usually this is going to be that big foamy boil that you're looking for. Alright, go ahead. We're going to set our clock to timer 1 minute. Looky there. I already have it. I already have it in there. Like I've done this before. Okay, it's almost there. I like to wait until it gets good and frothy before I start counting. Okay, it's at that rolling boil. That just ensures that the pectin is going to be activated, and that when you pour the sugar in there, that's where you're going to get your set. If you don't let this stuff boil long enough, it is not going to set. Okay, I don't think I'm going to get any more boil out of this, so we're going to go ahead and do a minute. And usually during this rolling boil, it grows a little bit. You'll see that it grows a little bit. So make sure, especially if you have a full pot, that you allow for at least a 1 to 2 inch expansion upwards, because I have had it boil over. Up. Okay, that is 1 minute. Alright, now this is where we're going to dump all of this in there. All at one time. This is such a pretty color. I love these like honeysuckle and orange and this triple citrus. I love the orangey yellow color that you get out of these jellies. It's so pretty, like whenever we go to markets and stands, like events and stuff. People are usually drawn to these colored jellies because I sit them on the top shelf and the sun shines through them, and it just makes them look like sunshine. It's my sunshine jelly. Triple citrus sunshine jelly. How about that? That's what we're going to name it. Alright, make sure you get everything down off the edges, because this is where the magic's fixing to happen. Alright, we have to, all my sugar is dissolved, so now we have to let it come to that rolling boil again. Get everything off the sides very well. Okay, now we wait. Okay, so while we're waiting on this to come up to temp, I will say I'm going to go ahead and clear off a section and get it ready for my jars. I've got my funnel, got my canning spoon. I'll try to find a link to this on Amazon where you guys can get them. I think you can get them at Walmart too, but these are canning spoons, and let me tell you, a spoon evenly is 1 cup, just so you know that. Of course, it's going to give and take for, you know, some discrepancies on the level of liquid in there, but it's about 1 cup. So let's keep this stirred so everything heats up evenly. And the reason why it quits boiling whenever you stir it is because where the eye is, it's hot, and around the edges, it's not. And so as you stir it, then you bring in the cooler liquid as you are cooking. Any liquid, not just jams and jellies or marmalades or anything, but as you are stirring it, it brings in those cooler liquids, and that's what keeps it from having that full rolling boil. Set my timer over here. Okay. And now I like to lay down a paper towel, but not so much that it's going to get burned by all my eyes. This just helps with cleanup. So whenever we get ready, this starts to come to a rolling boil, we start getting our jars out. We can set it up here, fill them, and then put them in our canner back here. And that way it's not such a big of a mess to have to clean up. Okay, let's get our lids and rings ready. Okay, it's almost to a rolling boil. Okay, let's go ahead and start our timer for 1 minute. There's that foamy boil I was looking for earlier. See how that grew really fast? And then once it hits its temperature and starts to kind of be activated, it'll slowly start shrinking back down just a little bit. Keep that stirred around. Don't want it to burn on the bottom. And I gotta finish getting rings. Okay. Now we're gonna turn this off. Get our jars out. We want to fill our jars to a 1/4 inch headspace. Now, as you fill your jars, let's go ahead and set them back in the canner back here. Now with the last jar being put in, let's go ahead and turn it back on high. And then the best part is we get to clean up now. As with any jam, jelly, canning, tomatoes, fruits, vegetables, it doesn't matter. As the saying goes, clean up as you go. Because this stuff gets to be a hot, sticky mess. And sometimes it is just miserable to clean up. So go ahead and do it while it's warm, while it's fresh. Go ahead and get it cleaned up. And you can also take a sneak peek of the taste. Look at it. It's already gelled. Look at that. It's already gelled. That's good. And I forgot to tell you, 10 minutes in the water bath canner. So there you have it, folks, a triple citrus sunshine jelly. That's kind of a tongue twister. But thank you guys for coming by and watching the video. I hope you enjoy making this jelly with me. Thank you to Kettle Kitchen and Blue Self-Reliance for the invitation this year for Jam It Up June 2024. And remember the hashtag down below. You can click on that. Anybody with that hashtag, their video will come up. The original playlist for Jam It Up June 2024 will be linked down below, as well as a list of the channels that will be in the playlist and their dates of publication will be all listed down below for you to go check out their videos as well. Thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you next time, guys. Bye.